It started.
Good evening, all my dear students. So in the first lecture, we have discussed about majorly the basic of accounting, where we discussed some basic terminologies of accounts. And then what we are going to do is going to deep dive into those terminologies. And those terminologies is something that is required for your day-to-day accounting and activities which you are going to perform in the bookkeeping process as well as the process ahead. Okay. So, shall we begin? I'm just sharing the screen. Just let me know once the screen is visible to you guys. All please confirm once the screen is visible. Okay. So in the last class, we have learned about the what is cost accounting, what is management accounting, and what is financial accounting. And we have also discussed the difference between the bookkeeping as well as accounting. So what do you mean by bookkeeping? Just to reiterate, bookkeeping is nothing but maintaining the books of accounts or maintaining the records of the transactions which are taking the place in a day-to-day basis for the purchase of any goods, for the sale of any goods, or any other thing where the money is involved, where the financial transaction is involved. So what is transaction? It is the exchange of goods or services or same thing alike. Okay. Transaction and event. There is a minute difference between transaction and event, which we are going to discuss. All transaction are events, but all events are not transactions. So this is the line which we should remember, and we will learn it through when we are going deep dive into this. First, just let's go through the difference between management accounting and financial accounting. Okay, so what is management accounting? That is something required by managers from the financial statements. What are the financial statements? We are all aware of, right? Some students are saying screen is not visible. I think most of them has already confirmed that it is visible. So just try to rejoin and then just confirm me. Okay, so what is management accounting? By seeing the financial position as well as financial performance, if I make any sound judgment or management decisions, that is termed as management accounting. So it is mentioned that management accounting is primarily based on the data available from the financial accounting, but financial accounting is based on the monetary transaction of the enterprise. Okay, so according to this, which has the wider scope, the management accounting or the financial accounting? Give me the answer fast. The management accounting take the basis from the financial accounting, so that is the reason management accounting has the wider scope. Some has already confirmed. Okay, great. So it provides the necessary information for the management to assist them in the process of planning, controlling, performance evaluation, and decision making. For example, let's say I want to start a new project or I want to start a new business. What I will do, I will try to find the item which I am going to deal with, the goods or services. I will estimate all the sales, the revenue from that business, and I will compare it with my cost. When I have the sales figure and the cost figure, then I can estimate the data with regard to the profitability. And once my business is profitable, I will decide whether to do the business or not. What is the percentage of return I am getting on that? So everything needs to be understood while doing the management accounting, and management accounting has the basis from the financial accounting. Management is all about the decision making. See, many of these things we have already discussed in the class 11, 10, 12 business studies. What is the planning, controlling, directing, staffing, etc. So basically those principles are based on what theoretical explanation given by the management, but they have the entire loop of the financial accounting. That is your balance sheet, P&L, everything. So the main focus of recording and classifying monetary transaction in the books of accounts and preparing of financial statements at the end of every accounting period. That is about your financial accounting. I will open up an Excel and I will show you how these transactions are used for making the decision making. Okay. So let's say I have two businesses, the business number one and business number two. I will give you certain parameters on the basis of which we will determine that which business is more beneficial to do, the business number one or business number two. First is the capital. So what do you mean by capital? Capital is nothing but the owner's fund. Owner's fund, that is, for example, I am starting a business and I am putting some money into it. So that is the capital of the business. Okay. For every business, you need some capital. That may be in the form of cash, that may be in the form of land and building. For example, I have to start a business, I need a place. So for that, I need to get a land or building. Yes, I need some plant or machinery for the manufacturing process. I need the furniture and fitting. So for all these things, I will need the fund, and this is called capital. That is the, I would say in simple terms, that is the amount invested by owner in the business. I hope that is clear to all. So let's say first business requires an investment of 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh rupees is required for the starting of the business. Now, if I estimate how much profit do I get? So let's say I will have a sales of, we will have a sales of 5 lakh rupees. Okay. 10 extra. Yeah, that's 5 lakh. And we will have some purchases. The goods we will purchase that will cost me 4,50,000 rupees. So everybody, as a layman, if you try to understand what is the profit here, just these two transactions. I purchase the goods for 4,50,000, so sell it for 5 lakhs. So my profit is rupees 50,000. That is the profit. Now, if I ask you that this is the business one, which we are talking about, but we need the details of business two as well for the decision making. Okay. So now if I ask you whether to invest in business one or business two, at present you don't have the sufficient information to get the decision. So let me provide you the capital for business number two. Capital required for business number two is, let's say, 4 lakh rupees. 4 lakh is required. We have the sales figure as well. Let's say the sales are 10 lakh rupees. That is, you can say 1 million. And then we have the purchases figure. That is, let's say 8 lakh rupees. What is the profit in this case? My profit is 10 lakhs minus the purchases, that is 2 lakh rupees. Now, can you tell me which business is better from my perspective, whether to invest in business number one or business number two? I am awaiting your answers. Come on, everybody. Which business is profitable as per you? The business number one or business number two? Everybody have a look on these questions and tell me. Some have already answered me. Business number 1. Some is saying business number 2. Okay, that's great. Rest all. Sir, any business you can do. What do we have to do with that? No, we have to understand that if it is our business, then we have to understand what are the parameters which I am looking at, right? Now we are not talking about accountancy. This is just the layman understanding with respect to the businesses. Okay, I want some more answers to proceed with. Okay, I have got mix of the answers of business 1 and business 2. Okay, whoever is thinking that it should be business number 1, what are the parameters are they considering? They are considering the low capital. The amount invested is rupees 1 lakh and the profit is rupees 5 lakhs. So can you tell what is the return on investment in what period? Have I given you the period? Have I given you the period? No, that data was missing. So for any transaction, you need to understand what is the period given in this question. So let's say to just simplify, it is taken as 1 year for both the businesses. 1 year in both the cases. So what is the return of investment in 1 year from business 1? So that would be rupees 50,000 divided by 1 lakh rupees multiplied by 100. That's the simple way of calculating your percentage. So that would be 50% of the return. So this business is giving me a return of 60%, 50%, sorry. Okay, now let's calculate what is the return in business number 2. Can you do that? Can you do that mathematics? Calculate the return of investment from first year in business number 2. So the figures here will change. That would be 2 lakh rupees divided by 10 lakh multiplied by 100. Come on, give me the answers. Wow, now I am getting the better answers. So this will be again 50%. So whether I do business number 1 or business number 2, the return which I am getting is same. So both businesses are equally liable. But if I change one of the parameter, that is the period. If I say this is 1 month, now my answers will change. This is the period of 1 year, and then we have the period of 1 month. So now can you calculate the yearly profit? Profit for the year would be 2 lakh is for 1 month multiplied by 12 months. Profit for the year would be rupees 24 lakhs. Now, if I try to calculate the return of investment, my answers would change. It would be 24 lakh rupees of profit by just investing how much? 4 lakh rupees multiplied by 100. So that would be 600%. So obviously in that case, my business 2 is the better one, right? The criteria. So what we are looking at, this is the financial transactions of two businesses, and what we are analyzing, whether to invest in business number one or business number two. So what parameters are necessary to understand that? The first parameter is the amount which you are investing. Second parameter, the profitability which you are getting from the business. Third parameter is the time frame which you are talking about, whether it is a 1 year or 1 month, or it is a 1 week, or it is 4 or 5 years. So the period is also necessary. And then what you are equating the profit with respect to the amount invested, and then we are calculating the percentages. So in the case one, it was both 50-50%. Both business are equally profitable, but in case two, where the business two has only 1 month in the period, so it is giving us 600% of return. Am I clear, everyone? Any doubts? Okay. What mentioned here, that reports as per financial accounting are meant for the management as well as the shareholders and creditors of their concern, like the financial, the profits, the losses, those are required by the management as well as the loan who is providing us, the lenders, the creditors, whether the company has sufficient funds to pay me back or not, then only I will lend money to that company. So financial accounting is required by all. These are supported by the relevant figures, and it emphasizes on the objectivity of the data. And these reports are liable for audit. So what do you mean by audit? All the financial data which we are preparing, that needs to be audited from the company's perspective. Why it needs to be audited? Because we have to give the exact, accurate, reliable, complete information to the users of the financial statement. Who are the users of financial statement? It may be the management, it may be the shareholders who are investing in that company, it may be the lenders who are providing money to the company, it may be the creditors who is giving goods to the company on credit. So these all are the stakeholders. In one word, if I call them, these are the stakeholders. So who are the stakeholders? Let us specify. Stakeholders are those who has stake in company. What do you mean by stake? Who has might be invested in company. So who invest in the company? Those are the shareholders. Shareholders are the people who invest in the company. Then we have the person who lends money. Those are the lenders. Okay. So, and those who give goods on credit, that would be creditors. We will have customers as well who purchases our goods. Those are the debtors. So I have introduced two new terms to you, that is creditors and debtor. For example, let's say if there is one person supplies me goods, so I take goods from that person, that means I need to pay him money for that goods. If I purchase the goods, that means I need to give him the money. So those would be termed as creditors. Those person is the creditor. And one person is there who purchases the goods from me. So he will pay me money because he is my customer. So those are the debtors. So in short, if I say who gives credit is the creditor, who gives goods on credit, I would say, who gives goods on credit, those are the creditors, and who takes goods on credit, that is the debtor. Okay, so that is the basic two new terminologies which I have introduced, creditors and debtors. So which is the obligation out of these two, which I need to pay back, creditor or the debtor? Fill in the blanks. That is an MCQ question. We all know that our paper is going to be the MCQ pattern. So there may be a question. Who owes us money and who is owed by us? क्या question था? Who owes us money. And we have four options, let's say. First option, debtor. Second option, creditor. Third option, both. Fourth option, none of the above. Who owes money? So now you have got one more term, that is owes. Owes means payable. Owes means payable. So who is that person who needs to pay me? My customers or my creditors? Come on. Now this is the question for you. Who will pay me? My customers will pay me or the creditors will pay me? Waiting for your answers. Come on. So I have some answers here. That is customers. Very good, Nitish. Have first option correct. That is your debtors. Debtors are our customers. Who are the customers? Who takes the goods on credit? They will pay us money after the end of credit period. Credit period means what? For example, it is my general practice to whomsoever I sell my goods, I ask them to pay the money in 1 month time. If I ask them to pay the money in 1 month's time, so 1 month is my credit period and that customer has to pay me back in 1 month. So that is the person who owes us money. And who are the people whom we owe money? Who are the people to whom we owe money? First, again, I will change some option. First, debtor. Second, creditor. Third, lenders. Fourth, both option number 2 and option number 3. Come on. That is question number 1 to you, and then we have question number 2. This is the question which you need to answer right now. Which option is correct? Okay, some answers I have got, that is customers. Some I have got creditors. Come on everyone, waiting for your answers. Now let us understand the question again. Okay, whomsoever who has not understand the question, let us read it. Who are the people to whom we owe money? We owe money, that means I have to pay them. So are the debtors those person whom I have to pay or they have to pay me? If I have goods, I have sold the goods to someone, so obviously they will pay me back. I am not going to pay. So first option is incorrect. This option is incorrect. Okay, whenever you don't understand the question correctly, so try to break down it into the words and then understand, and then do the elimination option, elimination trick. I would say that first eliminate those options which are not correct at all. Like for example, in this case, debtors are those person who will pay me, not the person whom I will pay. So this is option is crossed out. Second, creditors. Obviously, these are those person whom I need to pay because I have taken goods from them and then I have to pay them money. So who is my creditor? Yes, creditors are those person whom we owe money. Okay. So this answer was came by many of the students. Wow, that's great. But shall I tell you that your answer is incorrect? Because who are lenders, my dear? Lenders are those people who lends you the money. So if you have taken money from someone, then you have to pay it back. And if you have to pay the money back, that means you owe that money to that person. You owe that money to that person. You are payable money to that person. So third option is also correct. So by this, the correct option was option number 4, not the first, not the second, and not the third. Both second and third options are correct. That is creditors as well as lenders. Mazaya, had fun for this. So these types of questions are tricky. I understand that, but we need to understand the concept. If we are through the concept, then you can do every sort of question. Okay. So option number 4 was the correct option. Let's do one more question. I think there is one in your book as well. Okay, let me find that for you. Okay. A debtor is a person who dash to others. Who dash to others? Can you fill in the blanks over here? A debtor is a person who dash to others. Come on. Okay, I will share back my screen. 1 second. I think now it should be visible. Yeah. A debtor is a person who dash to others. Come on. Question number C that you have to fill in. That is the fill in the blanks. Should I give you the options? Because it is going to be the multiple choice. So let me give you some options. Okay. Option number 1 is, let's say, who option number 1 is one who owe money or one who lends money. No, this is not working well. Let me go to Excel again. So the question was, debtor is a person who dash to others. So first thing we need to understand that who is a debtor. Debtor is the customer. Customer, what does the customer do? He takes the goods on credit. If they have taken on cash basis, so that is not something which he need to pay in future. Okay, so if the customer has taken the goods on credit that I will pay you later, so that person will become your debtor because you have to take the money from you. So customer is the person who takes the goods on credit and will pay you later on. Will pay you later on. So what are the options available? Debtor is a person who owe money, who gives money, no, not give, who takes money, third, who gives goods and services, fourth, none of them. Which option as per your understanding should be correct in these? Come on everyone. Wow. Now we have got some very good answers. That is owes money. Now all are correct. So debtor is the person who owe money to others because the amount is payable by the that person. Okay, so those who are with me till now, that's good. I will take now a simple example which I have taken earlier. So Ram is a shopkeeper. Okay, and Shyam is the retail consumer. It is the same example which I have taken in the class earlier. So Shyam is the retail consumer, Ram is the shopkeeper, and Ram buys the goods from Ghanshyam. Wow, similar names. He is the wholesaler. Ghanshyam supplies the goods to Ram, and Ram then sells it to the retail consumer, that is the Shyam. Okay, so Ram has bought rupees 5,000 lace chips. So he has taken 5,000 rupees lace chips from Ghanshyam. So can you tell me in this transaction, if I am Ram, if I am Ram, so who is the, so Ghanshyam is option number one, creditor, option number two, debtor, option number three, we have only three options, none of the above. Is correct. If I am Ram, so what Ghanshyam is whom? Whether he is my creditor or he is my debtor or he is none of the above. Come on, everyone. Waiting for your answers. Come on. Amazing. Most of the students has already replied as he is the creditor. Who is the creditor? That is Ghanshyam. Now, Ghanshyam is the person who has given me the money. From the Ghanshyam's perspective, now think from the Ghanshyam's perspective, whether Ram is creditor, debtor, or he is none of the above. Come on. Who is Ram to Ghanshyam? By this example, I think every doubt will be cleared with respect to your debtor and creditors. So who is Ram to Ghanshyam? If I am Ghanshyam, so Ram is who? The debtor, the creditor, or none of the above? Come on. If I have sold goods to Ram, if I have sold goods to Ram, so he will pay me the money. And if he is paying me the money, he is my customer. That means he is the debtor. Who is the debtor? The Ram is the debtor. Now, Ram has sold goods to Shyam. So, what will happen if I am Ram? Shyam is my creditor, debtor, or none of the above. If I am Ram, Shyam is my creditor, debtor, or none of the above. Come on, everyone. Who is Ram? Very good. Ram is my debtor. Now, question change again. If I am Ghanshyam, who is Shyam to me? If I am Ghanshyam, then who is Shyam to me? Come on, everyone. Whether he is my creditor, whether he is my debtor, or none of the above. Come on. So in this case, has Ghanshyam done any transaction with Shyam? The answer is no. He has not done any transaction with Ghanshyam. He has just done the transaction with Ram. So for Ghanshyam, Shyam is nobody. He is none of the above. Shyam would be none of the above. Am I clear to all? Somebody has answered that he is the debtor. No, Sham is debtor of Ram, not the debtor of Ghanshyam. Okay, make it very clear. Sham is debtor of Ram in this case, not Ghanshyam. Sham is nobody to Ghanshyam. Okay. Now I think the debtor and creditor concept is very, very clear to everybody. Now let's go to the some basic terminologies. Okay. Let's go to question number 1 over here, the fill in the blanks. The cash discount is allowed by dash to dash. I can give you the option. There would be in one blank there would be debtor and in one blank there would be creditor. So which option would be there? Whether here it will be debtor or whether here will be creditor, and what would be here? Come on. Cash discount is given by whom to whom? One answer I have got, that is debtor to creditor. Okay, anybody else? Please tell me one question one more time. The question is the cash discount is allowed by dash person to the dash person. In these two dashes, one would come to be a debtor and one will come to be a creditor. So whether here it will be the debtor or here it will be the creditor or vice versa, where here will be the creditor or it would be the debtor. You have to find that. Okay, I've got one more answer. I would say two more answers for creditor to debtor and one I already got for what? That is debtor to creditor. Okay. Just to clarify to all the students that I am getting a lot many answers over here, but I have option to publish for limited ones. So the published ones are the limited numbers. One student is having fun. He's saying Ram is Ram only. Yeah, that's true. Ram is Ram only and you are you only. So basically, if you want to learn, you have to become either of the person to get your answers. In this case, the cash discount is allowed by whether the debtor to the creditor or creditor to the debtor. So the correct answer is if I am the seller, I give the discount to the customer and customer is my debtor. So obviously the cash discount would be allowed by the creditor to the debtor. Okay, correct answer is creditor in first option and then we have the debtor in the second one. I hope everybody is clear now. Any doubt? Yes, creditor to debtor. That is correct. Perfect. Profit means excess of dash over dash. Come on. Now, can you try or should I give you any hint? Profit means excess of dash over dash. Try this one. Profit means dash over dash. So the hint here is that is expenses versus income, or you can say revenue versus expenses. For profit, your income should be more than your expenses, right? So that is, profit means excess of income over the expenses. That is the correct answer. Yes, income and expenditure. Some have answered that income over expenditure. That is also fine. And one has mentioned profit over expense. Beta, profit, they have already said that profit means excess of profit over expend. No, no, that we cannot say. Income and expenditure, that is fine. They have given you answers as well. So this is income over, yes. And we have the first option as well. So you can try the other questions as of now. Those are the easy ones. But once we understand the terminologies once more for the general things, then we can solve these questions. Let me take you to those terminologies as of now. Okay, here you have those terminologies in 1.5, that is the basic accounting terms. I will brief you the ones which we have already discussed. The transaction, what do you mean by a transaction? Which involves exchange of money or money's worth between the parties. Okay, that is a transaction. It may be purchase of goods or it may be purchase of any other asset or any other thing where the money is involved. That is with respect to the money. Transaction is always for money. What are the goods and services? The tangible articles is the goods and the intangible items are the services. For example, the doctor's advice is what? Tangible or intangible? Come on. Doctor's advice is a tangible thing or an intangible thing? Doctor's advice is an intangible thing. So intangible thing is something which cannot be seen or touched, but it can be felt. So doctor give you a prescription on a piece of paper. That prescription is not the reason he is charging you 500 rupees or 1000 rupees or whatever the fees may be. He is charging you for the advice which he has written on that piece of paper. Okay, so for that reason you are paying him the money, and that service is intangible. So goods are the tangible commodities and services are intangible. So if I talk about machine are goods, obviously. Services are intangible in nature, which are rendered with or without the objective of earning profit. Okay, but if we are doing the business, always and always the services will be with the objective of making the profit, right? I've got many answers. That's great. One of the student is asking for the qualifications. So beta, this was already covered in the introduction session, but yeah, I will let you know that I am a chartered accountant, qualified chartered accountant, as well as I have various diploma degrees in various certification courses. And also I am an LLB with BCom. Yeah, that's answer to your question. Okay, moving on. What is the profit? That is the excess of revenue income over the expenditure is called profit, that we have already discussed. What is loss? That is excess of expense over the income. If you have more expenses and less income, then you are in loss. Okay, that is a loss. What is an asset? Asset is anything which is owned by the business with the purpose of generating future profits. That gives you a future economic benefit. Future economic benefit means what? Future profits only. So anything which is owned by the business means that is in control of the business and it is used for generating the future profits. Those are called the assets. Assets can be intangible as well as intangible as well as tangible. Tangible assets are those assets, for example, plant and machinery, furniture, fixtures, land and building, computers, etc. But what are intangible assets? For example, software, right? Copyrights, trademarks, goodwill, patent. These all things are intellectual property. These all things are intangible assets because you cannot see the software inside the computer, but you can access it, we can work on it. All the people who are in this webinar right now and watching this, so you are using your own electronic devices for that, they have some software inbuilt into it, so that is an intangible asset. Tangible asset is the device itself. For example, the laptop is the tangible asset, but the software inside is the intangible asset. Okay. So we have some current assets as well as non-current assets. Let us distinguish between the current assets and the non-current asset. For every transaction, we need to see whether it is a current or non-current. The basic line of difference between those transactions is the period. Whether it is a long period item or it is a short period item. Those things which can be converted into cash in a shorter period, that is called the current assets. Rest all are the non-current assets. So we have four criterias which determines whether it is a current asset or not. Let's say the first criteria, that is, it is expected to be realized in or intended for sale or consumption in the company's normal operating cycle. Now let us go back to the example which we were discussing, and then we will come to this. Okay, so let us talk about Mr. Ram. Now let's change up the names. Mr. Peter. Mr. Peter has a business where he sell goods. Yeah, whether I would say he trades goods. That means he purchases from some person and then he sells it to another, obviously. So let's say he has purchased some goods and then he is selling that. There is an operating cycle for this business. What is this operating cycle? Operating cycle means whenever your cash is converted into cash. What I said, the cash gets converted into cash. That is your operating cycle. Like, for example, you are manufacturing the goods. So that would be your raw material. Raw material takes, for example, 1 month. Convert it into the finished. Purchase the raw material, it took 1 month to convert it into the finished good. How much time is done? 1 month is done. Now to sell the goods, finished goods, this is kept, it takes 3 months time to sell those goods. I've given it to the debtor. Okay. Debtor, it takes 3 months. What does finished goods takes time? Why it takes time 3 months to get to the final consumer? Because whenever it is ready, whenever it is finished in my factory, I send it to my retail outlet. For some time on my retail outlet, the good is displayed, the customer comes, customer sees and then buy it. So the average time I would say to get the finished goods sold is 3 months. So have I received the cash now? No. My general terms, debtor pay me after, let's say, 4 months. They have the 4 month of credit period, and after 4 months they are paying me cash. So from here I purchase the raw material in cash, and then what I am doing, I have received cash again after how many months in total? So 1 month for the conversion of raw material to finished goods, then 3 months for the conversion from finished goods to debtors, and then debtors has paid me after 4 months. So total 8 months has been elapsed and then I have got my cash to cash. This would be termed as my normal operating cycle. Am I clear, everyone? I've told you one concept, that is normal operating cycle. What is a normal operating cycle? When my cash turns into cash after the processing of the goods, after the selling of the goods, and after once you have recovered your money, then it turns into the cash. So from cash to cash, this is a normal operating cycle. So if anything I am purchasing right now can be converted within 8 months from cash to cash, that would be a current asset. That would be what? A current asset. All right. If I go through this again, anything, my accounting period starts from, let's say, 1st April 2022 and it goes till 31st of March 23. Everybody knows here the accounting periods. In India, we have the financial year starting from 1st of April and ending on 31st of March every year. So this is the financial year 2022 to 23. Okay, we are talking about financial year 22 to 23. So it starts from 1st April 22 and it ends on 31st of March 2023. I am preparing my balance sheet. What is balance sheet? It consists of your assets. Assets, what are assets? Those which you can control. You have owned those assets and they will give you the future economic benefits. And you have the liabilities. What is the liability? Liabilities are the obligation which you need to pay in the future period of time. Liabilities are the obligation which you need to pay. Beta, if there are any questions in between, you can just drop me a message. I will take that on. Okay, that's no problem. Balance sheet are what? Those are the assets and liabilities. So what date I will prepare the balance sheet? I will prepare my balance sheet on this date. I will see from 31st of March if anything which can be sold after 8 months. After 8 months. So what is the 8 months after 31st of March? That would be April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and November. So till 30th of November 23, 30th of November 2023, anything which can be converted into cash and cash equivalent, that would be a current asset. That would be what? A current asset. That is your criteria number one. We have what we have seen. We have seen a period of 8 months. We have seen a period of 8 months. So what is 8 months? That is the normal operating cycle. Normal operating cycle of the company. So anything which is sellable, which can be converted into cash and cash equivalent up to 30th of November, that would be a current asset as on 31st of March 2023 for the company. Any doubt? Any doubt? For general questions regarding your syllabus and everything, beta, you can refer your ICMAI website. There everything is given in detail, right from the syllabus, your numbers of paper, the content, as well as your exam dates and everything. Okay. So I have told you about the normal operating cycle. That is that may vary company to company. This is not the standard which I have shown you right now. Okay, it may vary for company to company. For one company, it takes 1 month to convert the raw material into finished goods. For another company, it may take 10 months. And for selling it, it may take just 1 month. And debtor give me cash instantly. They do not take the goods on credit, so it would be 0. So what is my normal operating cycle in this case? That this would be 11. Am I clear, everyone? Am I clear? Can I give you one question where we can calculate the normal operating cycle? Okay, let's try that. Question. Calculate the normal operating cycle of X Limited from the details below. You have the details below and you have to calculate the normal operating cycle of X Limited. Creditors allow us 2 months credit period. What does this statement mean? That creditors need to be paid after 2 month time. Okay, not instantly. They allow us a 2 month period of time where they can give us the where we can pay them the cash. We can take the goods instantly, but cash can be paid after 2 months. Okay, processing time for conversion of raw material into finished goods is, let's say, 15 months. It takes 15 months for conversion of raw material into finished goods. Then finished goods are sold finally to consumer in 3 months. Then the consumer pays, consumers are allowed a credit period of, let's say, uh, 3 months again. Consumers are allowed a credit period of 3 months. You have to calculate the normal operating cycle. Come on, everyone. Just try this question. That would be all for this concept. One question I have received, that financial period will end on 31st of March 2023. Then how is it the current assets? So just going back to my example before, financial year will end on 31st of March. So whenever you are preparing a balance sheet, we are sitting on 31st of March. Now I will see from this date how much time is the asset taking to realize into the cash. If anything, for example, I have got a share of Reliance. मैंने एक share खरीदा Reliance का, I have bought a share of Reliance, and that share I can sell anytime in the market. But what my broker does, he pays me after 3 working days. He pays me after 3 working days, not instantly. He pay me after 3 working days. So my credit period, normal operating cycle, my normal operating cycle is 8 months, and I am getting the proceeds from sale of shares into 3 working days. So that is my current asset. Anytime I can sell and I can get my money. But if I made a fixed deposit which we cannot break, if I have made a fixed deposit which we cannot break of 5 years, so whether it is a current asset for me? Answer is no. The normal operating cycle of the company is 8 months. It is exceeding 8 months, so it is a non-current asset. Okay, we are right now just considering the criteria number one. There are four criterias. We are on the criteria number one. We will learn the next three as well. But for as per the normal operating cycle, the condition is, it is expected to be realized within the normal operating cycle from the reporting date. So what is the reporting date? Reporting date is nothing but the balance sheet date. And in our case, the balance sheet date was 31st of March 2023. So from 31st of March 2023, it will take how much time? It will take 30th of November. So that is the period till which if any asset is converted into cash, that will be my current asset as per the condition number 1. That is normal operating cycle. Okay, right now I have given you question to calculate the normal operating cycle. Has anyone calculated? Okay, wow, I've got one answer, that is 21 months. One answer I have got, that is 20 month. That is good, very good. So let me tell you, if I buy goods, creditor will allow me 2 months credit period. So 2 months is something which I am getting, not I am giving. Okay, so 2 months will start from the date I have purchased the goods. So for example, I have purchased the goods on 1st of April 23. So after 2 months, that means whole April and whole May, 31st of May 2023. This is the period which I have got. I am paying this amount on 1st of June and 23. So what is my normal operating cycle? So that is total time from cash to cash. My start point was 1st of April, but I am paying it on 1st of June. 2 months later, I am getting a credit. So my start point is -2. Creditors has allowed me that time, so it would be -2. Okay, now it will take 15 months to convert the raw material into finished goods. So 15 months would be added to this. The finished goods are sold finally within 3 months. 3 months will also be added to my normal operating cycle. And at last, we have got consumers allowed a credit period of 3 months. So 3 months will again added. That 19 months is the correct answer for my normal operating. Sir, you have told us that we have to include the processing time. We have to include the from the selling point till the cash realization. Now, why you have done this -2? Because in the example earlier, what I have wrote, I have given the cash for the raw material. But right now, in this case, in the new example, I have twisted that example. I have mentioned that creditor will allow me a 2 month period. So my normal operating cycle will start a 2 months later. That is why what I have done in this calculation, I have done -2 plus 15 plus 3 and plus 3. So the correct answer would be 19 months. Clear? Let's do one more question on this. You should tell us before and then you should give the twist and turns. No, exam will always test you, so always be ready for new types of questions. So creditors has allowed us 6 months period. Processing time for raw material conversion is 30 months. Finished goods can be sold finally to the consumer for 6 months, and we have allowed the consumers a credit period of, let's say, 9 months. Calculate the normal operating cycle for Y Limited. Now the name of the company is changed, it is Y Limited. Come on everyone. Now I think this is plain vanilla question for you. The question is credit months is 6 period. Creditors allow us 6 month credit period. Processing time is 30 months. Finished goods are sold finally to consumer within 6 months, and consumers are allowed a credit period of 9 months. So what is the normal operating cycle for Y Limited? So it would be 30 months plus 6 months when finished goods are sold to customer, plus 9 months that the customers will pay me after 9 months, and creditors are allowing me a 6 months period of the credit. So that would be deducted. So total would be 39 months of the period. 39 months is my normal operating cycle. That is the period which we are talking about. Wow, perfect. I've got many answers for 39. That's great. Now you are able to understand what is normal operating cycle. That's great. Now coming back to our topic. So anything, now read it. Now you will understand it very, very clearly. Anything which is expected, not absolutely, they are saying it is expected to be realized. Realized means that can be converted into cash or cash equivalent, or is intended for sale or consumption in the company within the company's normal operating cycle. That would be a current asset for the company. Okay. Am I clear for the point number 1 here? Is my point number 1 clear? Everyone. बोलो बच्चा, any doubt? Anyone? One doubt I have came that, sir, should I include the grace days to calculate? No, the grace days are the extra days which you have given for any payment. For example, I have given you 3 months period. So after 3 months, there would be some grace period. Let's say 3 days. I have given you the grace period of 3 days. So you have the total time to pay is 3 months and 3 days. Don't include the grace days at all here. Okay. So I have explained you the first criteria of the current assets. In the next lecture, we are going to talk about the rest of the 3 criteria. That is, it is held for primarily for the purpose of being traded, or it is realized within the 12 months after the reporting date. As I told you that we have to see after the reporting date, that is after the balance sheet date. And there is one more criteria, that is restricted from being exchanged or used or settle a liability for at least 12 months after the reporting date. So 3 things we need to understand in the next lecture. Rest all is clear, I think. Okay, clear, sir. Okay, so see you all in the next class. Bye all of you. Have a great day. Take care.